What up, my people? Welcome back to my channel once again. So today I'm going to be dropping my trade recap for from 7th July 2025 to let's see where the week ended. 7th July 2025 to 11th July 2025. That's from Monday to Friday. That's 5 trading days. So starting from 7th of this July, our market starts from here. This is Asian session. This is where Asian session starts from. This is 1:15 a.m. and irrespective the moment the market opened, this is where the market opened here on Sunday, and Monday started from this particular zone here, and when the market actually hit this particular order block, it started falling immediately. So I wasn't up for Asian session. I waited for, even London session was not forthcoming for me because there wasn't a clear structure. But after Asian session, after London session, at around New York session, I saw a clear setup for me, which was on the 1 hour and 1 minute time frame. Which what I did was to go to the 1 minute time frame. So this particular trade, I'm going to be analyzing it on the 1 minute time frame because I used the 1 minute order block for it. To actually catch that trade, I used the 1 minute order block. That was what played out at last. So let's go and see how it played out on the 1 minute time frame. Yes, so I woke up to this particular structure here, this particular order block that has consecutive buys. So what I'm looking at here was, I have a liquidity build up. If I see this kind of order block, what I always look at is, does it consolidate trying to get to the point of interest, or it came with momentum? If it comes with momentum, I'm not taking this trade anymore. I'm not taking it. But on the 1 minute time frame, I also saw that it was coming with exhaustion of buys, which irrespective, it consolidated. It took a longer time for it to get to this particular entry. So I entered this trade on the 1 minute time frame, and I waited for New York open. This is where I entered the market particularly, and this is approximately 1 o'clock. And that is when New York session starts. And irrespective, the market actually tapped me in on this particular stage, and when I saw some impulsive move, I actually reduced my SL, which my stop loss was around this particular zone here, which after this zone was visited, we didn't have any other zone visited again. So irrespective, I entered this trade, and boom, irrespective, the market continued going higher till it got to our psychological zone. So for this particular trade, I actually use 1 minute time frame to enter, and I also use time and price to enter this particular trade. If you know my kind of trading side, I always look for break of structure. Let's say I have this break of structure. The next thing I'm looking for is my order block. This is my order block. The other thing I'm looking for is liquidity. Let me even say this is my liquidity. If this is my liquidity, or maybe inducement, then that means my rules is complete on the 1 minute time frame, and that is how I actually catch this particular trade. Don't forget, time is also included. Time and price. So I waited for New York session, and irrespective, boom, we hit a 5:1 RR. If we tighten our stop loss, can you see 5:1 RR? And we rallied that trade from this particular zone here to this zone, and respectfully, we caught this trade on the 1 minute time frame. Okay, now let's say I didn't actually catch this trade on this particular order block here, this particular 1 minute order block. My second entry would have been this particular zone here, break and retest. Since it break this particular zone, and don't forget my psychological level also is also a confluence for me. Can you see it bounced on the psychological level and continue going higher? So that is how I actually traded my first trade on Monday. And I think for that Monday, that was the only trade that we actually took for Monday. Yes, that was the only trade we took for Monday, and irrespective, one trade we caught a 5:1 RR. Yeah, so coming to Tuesday, we had several confluences for Tuesday. So Tuesday started from this particular zone here. And I actually caught these particular sales on the 1 hour time frame. I caught these sales on the 1 hour time frame. Quite all right. This particular buys was from the 1 minute time frame. No, sorry, it was on the 5 minutes time frame, because I saw a clear unmitigated order block here. Yes, the market came, induced the order block, but did not clear the order block as a whole. So what I was waiting for was a sweep of this particular level. I was waiting for the sweep, and when the market came, the market swept this particular zone, because it was a zone I was actually looking at. I was looking at this zone. I knew that the market was going to respect. I was looking at this zone, and when the market came, swept this particular zone. After sweeping it, the close of this particular candle here, the next candle that opened was when I bought, and irrespective, it gave us a 5:1 RR, and I rallied that trade from this particular zone here to this zone, and it gave us also a 5:1 RR. Now these sales are very fun. I caught them on a 1 hour time frame. So for this particular sales, we're going to go to the 1 hour time frame so that we have an idea of how we actually catch those trades. Yes, so this is the trade. No, that is not the trade. That's not it. Because I knew I used a 1 hour OCL, and also I used the 1 hour order block. Okay, so this is the 1 hour OCL, and what made me catch this particular trade was that when I see that the wicks are bigger than the body candle, I attach the wicks under. Okay, let me give you an example of what happens. Since I see that this particular wick is bigger than this body candle, what I mark is I would mark the body candle and the bottom of the wick. Can you see? This is what gave me confidence to actually catch this 1 hour trade, and this my 1 hour OCL. I didn't mean I was waiting for this my 1 hour OCL. That means the market must have left me, which won't be a pleasant idea. So the confluences I use for gold, irrespective, is when the wick is bigger, we mark the body candle and the remaining wick under, and irrespective, the market came, tapped me in on the 1 hour time frame. Can you see? This is the thing I drew on the 5 minutes that you saw. This is my 1 hour OCL. This is my 1 hour liquidity. And can you see the market came, swept the liquidity, but did not get to the body candle, because market makers know that irrespective, a lot of people are waiting for this 1 hour OCL. A lot are waiting for it. So they use the wick of the order block to actually catch that particular trade. So what happens? That was how I actually caught that particular trade on the 1 hour time frame. Most of the confluence came from the 1 hour time frame. All the confluence came from the 1 hour time frame. What's happening here? Where is our 1 hour thing? Okay, so like I was saying, this was how we caught the 1 hour OCL. Now, apart from the 1 hour OCL, don't forget that we also have a confluence on the 5 minutes time frame, a clear order block on the 5 minutes time frame. That means I'm going to use this as my clear order block. Can you see? It also still caught that particular trade. So the analysis was on the 1 hour time frame, and I caught the trade on the 5 minutes time frame. So this particular trade I caught, why I caught out of this particular market here was because of this resistance on the 5 minutes time frame. This particular resistance, I always look at obstacles. One thing about my trade, I always look at obstacles. Obstacles will give you more information on when to actually get out of a trade and when to actually re-enter with fib level. So after I cut out of this particular trade here and it gave me a 5:1 RR, I rallied the trade from this zone to this zone. After that, I actually took my fib level, measured from the top of the market to the bottom of this market, and it gave me this fib level. Can you see? It gave me the fib level that this 0.5 level is going to be respected, and irrespective, I drew my fib level and my TP was on my psychological level, and boom, the market gave us a 9:1 RR. A 9:1 RR. Immediately it tapped into the market, it started giving us immediate reaction. And that's how we also caught this 9:1 RR. Yes, so after catching this particular trade, we cut out of this trade at around 9:45 a.m. We entered this particular trade at around 8:50 a.m. London session. Also entered this trade at around 8:05 a.m. So this whole run was a London session run. This whole run was for London session, and we entered this trade at around 8:05, and we exited at 9:50. That's approximately around 2 hours. 2 hours of holding this trade, and we caught a 9:1 RR and also a 5:1 RR. So on the second trade, I was waiting for consolidation here, but this immediate rejection of this candle, can you see this candle? It gave us a nice rejection, a sweet rejection, and I was hoping, or maybe I shouldn't say hope, I was anticipating that this market was going to come back to this our 1 hour OCL, to retap on the 1 hour OCL, because it actually tapped on the 5 minutes order block but did not tap on the 1 hour OCL. Can you see it here? Reasons, you have to give yourself reasons why you think the market would go there. Did not tap into our 1 hour OCL, but irrespective, what really happened, the market did not get to that 1 hour OCL, only respected our 5 minutes order block and stayed there. So when I saw this rejection, what I was waiting for was a retest. And when the market came to test this particular order block, can you see the reason why I entered this market? Can you see this loan order block with great impulsive movement that left an FVG, which irrespective, the market did not respect this particular order block, which resulted to an SL. And after taking this particular SL, on the New York session, I saw a nice setup also. I also saw a nice setup. Okay, so after this particular move here, after this impulsive move, I knew that this particular order block was going to be an obstruction for it. So I was expecting a pullback. Now, if I'm expecting a pullback, what is my confluence? Number one, a V-shape. A V-shape. Let's go to the line chart so that you understand what I'm saying. Can you see? V-shape, double engulfing, double engulfing with a 5 minute OCL. Can you see? This is my OCL here. 5 minute OCL. And what did the market do? The market came in at around 2:30. That's New York session. Came in, tapped into this particular OCL. Can you see? I want you guys to always know something. There is no how I'm going to enter any trade without liquidity. I cannot. Liquidity is the only thing that is more paramount in my strategy. Liquidity. Without liquidity, you can't see me in any trade. So this is my liquidity here. This is my liquidity, and my liquidity is very close to my OCL. So what I was looking at is the clear of this liquidity and tapped into this my OCL, and then irrespective what happened, we caught a nice entry. So after respecting to our 5 minute resistance, respecting our 5 minutes OCL, and boom, the market started rallying down till the next psychological level. And on this particular trade, we caught a 6:1 RR. But it is because our stop loss is supposed to be around the top of this particular order block. So irrespective, this is a 9:1 RR. And we rallied this trade from this particular zone here, from this zone here to this zone. I need you guys to always, for the people that watch my trade recap, I need you to always look at time and price. Yes, you don't just trade any order block, you don't trade any imbalance, you don't trade any OCL, you don't trade any resistance. You trade all those things combined with time. And from there, you would have clear view of where the market is going. So irrespective, if we look at this market as a whole, this 1 hour OCL was what got this market to this particular zone. Can you see? Let's measure the pips. Can you see from this OCL here? From this OCL here. Can you see our number of pips? Can you see? Over 500 pips. Over. And on just one run, because I will call this one run. Just that I don't like holding, because of the kind of person I know I am, I don't like holding on to trades for a long time. So that's why I have all these my psychological levels. So I use them as my take profit. Before they start consolidating, I'm out of the market. Before they start consolidating, I'm out of the market. So that's why I have these psychological levels. So that was the trades that we took on Tuesday, which we took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We took 5 trades, 1 SL, 40 Ps. No break even, 40 Ps. And that is how we traded for Tuesday. And for Wednesday, we were actually looking at something. We were looking at the daily. We were looking at the daily time frame. For me, I was looking at the daily time frame. So Wednesday starts from this place. What I was looking at is, let's go back to the daily time frame so that I can explain to you guys what I was looking at. Look at how my look at how distorted my daily time frame. Okay, so let's take these blues out. We are done with them. So okay, so on a daily time frame, we want to analyze the Wednesday trades, how the Wednesday trade actually played out. What happened that made me went bullish for Wednesday? Okay, so this is the Wednesday candle. What I did here was previous day high and previous day low. So on Wednesday, if you look at where the market actually opened, the market opened at this zone here. First went bullish before it came bearish. Can you see? Tapped into our previous day low. And based on experience, the moment the market taps into previous day low, what are you looking at? Bullish. you know that yes, it has trapped into the PDRA of previous day, the low of previous day, and now since it has tapped into the previous day low, what we are looking at to take out is also the previous day high. So immediately I saw this particular one, I went back to my 5 minutes time frame. Immediately I went back to my 5 minutes time frame. I waited for time also. Waited for time, but irrespective, the market took me out and boom, resulted to an SL. So after that previous day low that we tapped in, I didn't see that previous day low earlier. What I was looking at was this clear order block, and my plan was to, if this order block was respected and the candle closes with a rejection out of the order block, the next candle I'm going to step into the market. That was my plan. That was my plan. And my second plan was that if the market breaks this particular order block, can you see this level? I've drew this level here that I am waiting for a retest. That was the whole plan. I was waiting for a retest. But irrespective, the market manipulated. Yes, that's what you can't run away from the market from. It will surely manipulate you. No matter your experience, the market will surely find a way to do things that would actually take capital out of your hand. So irrespective, this market did not actually play very well that morning, but I entered the trade impulsively and boom, it resulted to an SL. So like I was saying about the previous day low and previous day high, this previous day low now has been tapped in. Can you see rejection immediately? Tapped in again, rejected immediately, tapped in again, and started rejecting. Now if you look at the second tap that we had, what time is it? I always tell you guys, always look at time and price. And which particular session do we normally have impulsive movement? New York session, because both London session and New York session merges together at once. So irrespective, this market actually tapped back into our previous day low with big momentum. Can you see? Came with momentum. We have an order block here that is also supposed to be a confluence, but irrespective, what I was looking at was this particular previous day low. And what did it do? After it tapped into this particular market, the market started moving impulsively. And after it moved and got to this particular psychological level, it started consolidating. That means that it has crossed the psychological level already. So now what now happens here that we saw another immediate movement, breaker block. Can you see? This is an order block that was broken, came back to retest it and continue going up. Can you see? So that's why on a daily time frame, it's good when you have your clear direction. You know that yes, today I'm only looking for bullish. I'm not looking for bearish. I'm not looking for sales. I'm only looking for buys. So that is how we finished Wednesday. I didn't take any trade for Wednesday. Okay, I took one trade and it resulted to an SL, and I can't afford to start chasing price. So irrespective, I left it that way. And Thursday started here, and boom. While Thursday started, I got into this trade because of my psychological level. Yes, my psychological level is already a confluence for me. Already it is a confluence. So what I saw here was liquidity, OCL. Liquidity, can you see the inducement did not get to this particular zone? Liquidity, inducement, OCL. Break of structure, can you see? It broke this particular structure. And this OCL stands as my order block, which on the 1 minute time frame, if you go, you're going to see an order block. And I got an liquidity here, and irrespective, what I was looking at was the top of this particular order block. The market came and gave me a 3:1 RR. Let me just leave it as 2:1 RR. This is 2.55, and that is the trade that we took on Thursday. And we entered this trade at around 11:10 a.m. Can you see there wasn't enough volume for the market to pump? So that was the trade that we took on Thursday, and we didn't take any trade again till Friday. And on Friday we had nice conferences for Friday. Nice conferences. My first conference, first and foremost, my first conference was my psychological level. I always tell you guys something. Psychological level, most of the time you see that is either a an order block is lying on that psychological level, or an OCL is lying on that psychological level. That's why they call it psychological level. It's a reaction level. So any place you see an order block, then a reaction happened in that place. That reaction that happened in that place is what created that order block. You might not see it clear on the time frame you are, but if you go lesser on the other time frame, you will see it. Or if you go lesser, because if you go higher, you're still going to see impulsive move, not reactions. So on the lower time frame, you have idea of where reaction levels are, and you will be able to act upon them easily. So for this particular one, I used my psychological level. I knew that this particular movement was an inducement because it didn't tap into my psychological level. And what I was looking at is, if we have a sweep here, this is a sweep. If we have a sweep here, what I'm waiting for is an immediate sell. So what will quantify my immediate sell? My psychological level. So the moment I saw the tap into this psychological level, I didn't even wait for anything. I didn't wait for any other conference. I didn't wait for another candle to create. All I just did was my sell stop. I kept my sell stop at this particular join, at this particular zone, and sell limit, sorry, not sell stop. I kept my sell limit after the candle closed, and the moment the market came back to retap, the market tapped me in and gave me a 5:1 RR, and that is how I actually smashed this trade. On the second trade, I was waiting for a 0.5 level to be respected. My fib level was what I used to enter this trade, but irrespective, the market did not respect my fib level, took me out, and immediately I entered another position, because this my psychological level is lying on an order block on the 15 minutes time frame. The psychological level is lying on an order block on the 15 minutes time frame. Can you see? And on the 5 minutes time frame, it's lying on our previous day high. So we are going to see several rejections. Can you see? That is why we are seeing rejections here. So irrespective, I caught a TP here, SL here, and this particular trade also, I caught this trade because of this particular psychological level, and I knew that this psychological level is also lying on our previous day high. So I was waiting for the break of this particular level. That was what I was waiting for throughout. And when I was going to see this break of this psychological level, I knew that this market was going to actually start moving at the New York session, and that was what happened. So what I did was, I went back to my 15 minutes time frame to go and look for confluence for this particular trade. I always tell you guys something. If I don't see liquidity, I am not entering any trade. If I don't see liquidity, I am not entering any trade. So what made me enter this particular 15 minutes time frame trade? Let me take this out. What made me enter this 15 minute time frame trade? I saw rejections. Also saw inducement, or would I call it liquidity? Inducement, liquidity, the same thing. The first liquidity was taken out by this candle, brought out my liquidity, brought it back to this place. What I was now waiting for is the clear of this particular liquidity too, and they tap into this particular order block. It is an order block on the lower time frame, maybe on the 1 minute time frame, but on the 15 minutes time frame, it is an OCL. It's an OCL. So what I was waiting for was a tap into this particular OCL, and boom, I was waiting for a nice reaction. And what happened immediately? What happened? The market tapped us in and started moving impulsively. Can you see? Came back again to this psychological level, tapped into this psychological level again, and started giving us immediate reaction. So let's go back to our 5 minutes time frame and see the price action around that. when you see the price action, you have idea of what I'm talking about. So after this, after the market gave us impulsive move, the market still came back to take people out. But what did the market come to respect this time? It came to respect this particular 5 minutes OCL. The 5 minutes did not have anything, the market did not have anything to respect on the 5 minutes here, but it has something to respect on the 15 minutes time frame. But now that it has started moving, it now has something to respect on the 5 minutes time frame. Respected this OCL and started going. And I was also waiting for a pullback. But that pullback now, I was waiting for it on this resistance level. This resistance level. But I entered from this particular OCL. Can you see? It tallied with my entry. But what I was looking at was this particular resistance. And when the market came to this resistance, it was rejecting massively. Can you see? Rejecting massively. And that is how we actually smashed a 8:1 RR from this particular zone to this zone. And we also smashed the second trade from this zone. Gave us this zone also gave us a 3:1 RR, which we smashed this trade from this zone to this zone. And that is how we closed Friday in profits. And that is my trade recap for this week. Thanks for watching my trade recap, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Peace out.